Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever time or daytime it is, or for your time zone whatsoever. I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of Shingeki no Kyojin, or you could call it Attack on Titan, on chapter 130. This chapter right here shows a lot of what happened with a lot of things, and it's really shocking. And I really don't know how this is gonna really go. I'm really deadly serious, guys. I really don't know how this is gonna go out, honestly, because with everything that's going on, especially that ending of a chapter, all those panels right there. Damn, dude. Those of you guys who read the chapter, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't. I decided to take a look at if there was a new chapter this month, today or tonight, and there looks like there is. And apparently it's really shocking right now because I thought I read some nasty, stupid internet rumors that there won't be a chapter this month until it's like August or something. I'm like, whatever, man. Guess I'll just keep checking and don't know. Like I said, this chapter really got me like thinking, how is this really gonna go out? Because it's really nasty and intense, and depending on how the recap goes, it might be it could be my shortest recap of all the Attack on Titan chapters or Shingeki no Kyojin chapters. But let's not get too doubtful, okay? I usually recap the entire thing and talk about it towards the end. So if anything else, let's just get this started. We had to it that Annie ends up trying to talk to Hanji, and she's being held back by Jean and Mikasa. And we have to it that Hanji says, the route to Odiha has been decided by Magath and us. Or should I say, we have no other options. There was no way to save your hometown Liberio. That's it. Everybody can only be in standard shock. Reiner, along with Gabby, and the Cart Titan user, and they can only, be in such despair right now after what just happened. And Annie's like, you know what? Then I have no reason to fight anymore, damn it. As you all know, Annie's reason of fighting and wanting to go back and live is because of her father. And she says, I'm getting off this damn ship, that kind of thing. And Hanji's like, hey, wait, what are you doing? If we stop the rumbling right now, neither Liberia or Marley will escape annihilation. Margaret was also aware of this, but he sacrificed his life so we could go further. Not for Liberia or Marley. He left it to us to save as many people as we can, even if we don't know their names. And Annie literally has no life in her eyes and really asked the same question like she asked many chapters ago. Can I go back to the first question? Can you kill Eren? And Mikasa can't really answer the question right away, as she knows that this is a difficult one to say. And Annie's like, can you stay out of my way and watch as I try to kill Eren? And Annie really is in despair right now, looking at Mikasa and everyone else by saying, I'm tired of fighting. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want us to continue killing each other. It's sickening. I don't want to have to fight you guys or kill any of you guys or with Eren. Don't you see what's going on here? And we had to it that the chapter ends up making a different approach, or should I say, going to a flashback, and it starts out with the question, when did it all start? Back then? No, it doesn't matter. Even if everything was predestined, I wanted all this to happen. Everything that lies ahead of us. And we have to it that there's a flashback play with Yelena talking to Eren like, the euthanasia plan is the only way to save the world and Eldia. Wine infused with the spinal fluid only served only to the upper echelon of soldiers, that the ones who interfere with reformation. Zeke believes in you, and so should you. I'll pretend to and we have to it that Eren talks to Flock and says, I will pretend to follow Zeke's plan, and you should go along with that. And Flock's like, and after you pretend to follow him, what comes next? And we have to it that another flashback ends up playing a part where Eren talks to Historia. He has to it that he tells Historia everything that the military police wants you to eat Zeke, and it's a fight or flight with only those options left when he comes to the island. And we have to it that Eren explains, I do more than take care of cows, I already knew all that. I don't have to fight or run away. And we have to it that Historia explains to Eren, if their plan gives the island chance of survival, I can't follow it. There is no other option. I mean, but since that time you protected me where everyone fought for my sake, that was good enough for me. And Eren tells Historia, even if you're okay with it, I'm not. It's sickening. And Historia's like, what are you talking about? Then it goes to another part of the flashback where Eren talks to Flock and he tells Flock he answers Flock's question after you pretend to follow him, what comes next? And Eren answers Flock's question by saying, I'm going to destroy this damn world. I'll exterminate our enemies from this world, every single one of them to hell. And, of course, when Historia heard that answer from Eren, we have to it. Historia's like, no, you are so wrong. Not everyone in the outside world is our enemy. Like your mother, most of them wouldn't know the reason behind their slaughter at all. And Eren's like, yeah, I know. But the only way how to end this stupid hatred-fueled cycle of revenge is to bury the history of that hate with the whole civilization. They will make you give birth to your children, use that sacrifices for the island. You're going to be, while forcing parents and children eat each other. I won't let them do that. And Historia's like, if I fail to stop you, Eren, I can never live or forgive myself with this kind of pride, And we have to it that Eren's like, yeah, if it's too much for you to bear, I could always manipulate your enemy memory using the founding Titan's power. If you keep your mouth shut until then. And Historia's like, no, I can't. And Eren's like, yes, you can. You're still the worst girl in the world who saved my life. No? And we have to it that it goes back to another part of a flashback where Eren asks Zeke about something about a headache, And we have to it that Zeke explains to Eren, Ackermans have a unique disease. I've never heard of such a thing from Mr. Xavier or any of the Titan science researchers, But according to the records, when an Ackerman's survival instinct is stimulated, their DNA awakens, Or instinct, I don't know. But Zeke says, but their habit of guarding the host, I don't think there's anything like that, We have to it that, Zeke says, so you want to know the origin of the Ackman girl's loyalty, don't you? Well, Eren, it's my opinion but that her loyalty has no origin. It's neither habitual or inevitable. She just likes you very much, enough to twist Titans to death for you, Then we have to it that there's a flashback played, a little small part with Historia talking to Eren again, and then Eren, and Zeke's like, hey, Eren, so how will you answer? What? And we have to it that Eren's like, what are you talking about? I only have 4 years left to live. And we have to it that this is really this is where a lot of things are starting to be a little, strange. Because it looks like to me, Eren says, what are you talking about? I only have 4 years to live, and what if I was to have a child? And possibly, it's kind of strange because when Eren asked that question, it ends up switching to Historia. So that could imply or make implicit information that Eren and Historia. Okay, we can get to that just a moment. Let me continue my recap. Okay, forgive me. We have two that Eren says, I only have 4 years left to live. What if I was to have a child? Even after I died, they live on, And we see many parts of Eren's past, when he was in Marley, where he cuts off his own leg, gouges his own eye out with a bullet, and he ends up saying, I hope they do, Even after I die, they live on. I hope they do. After that, they'll live happily ever after, kind of thing. And we have to it that a picture is played in his memory where everyone seems to be happy and all that, and then we see an eagle flying in the skies right now, or a bird, or whatever type of bird it is. I don't know why I called it an eagle in the first place, but just some kind of type of bird flies into the skies in present time, where a World Union fleet. Almost all the largest cannons in existence are assembled here now. The collective wisdom of mankind is aiming for the same target. If this miraculous freak can't stop them, there's no hope humanity can accomplish it. This rumbling. And we had to it, there's a bunch of steam coming at the ships, and everyone makes fire with everything they got towards the steaming smoke. But we also see to it that the Colossal Titan somehow dives underwater and ends up emerging like above the ships afterwards. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? You mean these Colossal Titans could actually swim? Well, they are big and tall, so yeah, but what the hell, man? That's really what the hell. And the Colossal Titans continue to march while everybody can only stare in shock and horror, realizing that weapons are no use against them. And we see Eren's freaking, like, Titan form, dude. Like, it's in some strange skeletal form, that of a beast in, you know, nightmarish thing. And we see his head. I mean, his head is dangling, like, in a strange way where his body's right there and everything all together. And everyone could only say, hey, guys, look. That's the Attack Titan, and Eren's face is shown. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. That is just scary as hell and nightmarish like hell. And we had to it that the last couple of pages plays back with Eren seeing his mother eaten by that Smiling Titan, which is like, of course, Eren's like love interest, or you know, that kind of thing. And we have to it that he says, "I'll exterminate them, every last one of them from this world." As we see a giant panel of Eren's like Titan body, you know, and it's still continuing with the Colossal Titans doing their freaking like destruction, you know. And the last message of the chapter of this panel says, since that day he never faltered and kept moving forward. So this chapter was really kind of tense. I mean, like, all I could tell you that first part of the chapter involves Annie knowing she lost her will to live. She wants to stop Eren, but she doesn't want to fight anymore. Even Mikasa and everyone's really shocked to hear that. And then the second part of the chapter, which is almost 90% of that, is showing Eren's backstory, where he talks to Flock and everything, where he's going to destroy the world, and he tells a story about this too. And not to mention, it might be heavily implied when he says, like, what if I was to have a child, and switches to Historia. That right there, when Eren says, if I were to have a child, and it goes to Historia's picture, that kind of might have implied that Historia and Eren might have a kid, which is something that's really scary at the same time. But I don't know. I think it's just me, because oh man, I don't even really know what to go. But all I know is like, it shows a lot of backstory about Eren in his flashbacks, where he decides to pretend to follow Yelena and telling Flock all this, where he's going to destroy all of his enemies in the world and ask them to follow him or help him out, you know, that kind of thing. And it also shows the flashback when he was spying on Marley, you know, he cuts off his own leg, gouges his own eye out with the bullet, one of his eyes, that is, and many things all together. And then later on, the last couple of pages, which is like the rest of the 10% of this chapter, shows the Colossal Titans like rumbling forward, destroying the ships. Even artillery attacks are not even working on them right now. And we see Eren's freaking Titan form, man, of his freaking Titan form, where he's gonna destroy everything. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? That's pretty crazy. So yeah, all I can say that 80 to 90% of this chapter shows much about Eren himself, you know, about like he decided to pretend to follow Zeke, and he decided to tell a story about his plan about destroying the entire world, and wants to bury the cycle of hatred down in the freaking depths of earth or hell or in the oceans, because there's no way to get rid of it. Everyone hates Eldians to the very end, and if we're gonna end this cycle of vengeance and hatred and killing, we have to destroy everything, which Eren believes might be the only way. So he believes genocide is the answer, you know, and whatever the case may be, it's gonna like, I really don't know how this is really gonna go out. But if I were to take a certain like predictable route, I think that could happen. I mean, who knows? Anyways, this is gonna be very crazy. I don't know what's really bound to happen, but I'm really jaw-dropping so hard right now, wondering like, how is this gonna go out? So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot.